Yo, good neighbors, what's going on? It's Phil Russert. I am excited. I am nervous. I've got a bunch of energy going on here, but man, let's do this. I hope you all come out and hang out with us. We got some awesome artists here that if you're not aware of them, you're going to want to be because these people are professional, great to work with, and man, they deliver. So we're going to talk about the covers they did. We're going to talk about the campaign for Tragedy. We're going to launch that bad boy, and we're going to talk about what these artists have going on, as well as Jerry Rasco, who's one of the artists. We're going to talk about his Kickstarter campaign because he's rocking it with his superhero book. And I think Rob Ratiano has an art sale going on. He's got a bunch of stuff to sell. So we're going to do a lot of stuff here tonight. I hope you come out, share this with everybody you know. Let's do this because I am excited. I am really excited. Daniel Buck, what's going on? Jeff, how the hell are you doing? Thank you, Daniel. I appreciate it. I'm asking you all to put your trust in me and back this campaign. But anyway, we're going to start off with artist Gus Mock.
Hi.
Javier Lugo.
Hey, greetings.
Jesse Rasco. Jerry, I mean. Why did I say Jesse? Sorry. Wow. And Rob Ratiano. And Ricardo lost signal and dropped out. So anyway. What's up, Charles? All right, so thanks for coming on, guys. And John Kotsis has joined us. It's Kotsis, I think, actually. What's going on, bud? All right, so thanks for coming on, Turn off your sound. And John Kotsis has joined us.
What's up, everybody?
Who's got their sound on? Because it's playing me.
That was me. My bad.
What's up, everybody?
Who's got their sound on? Because it's playing me. Someone's got to turn it off.
Let's see.
It was John. That's what I thought. Okay, so that's great. So anyway, I'm going to launch the campaign right now, and then we're going to start with Rob and talk about his cover. Yes, I am ready to launch. Yes, yes, yes. 6 million things to check. Launch project. And it's taken some time. And there you go. It has an error. Oh, okay. It is live. That was really weird. And John is back. But John, you got to turn the volume down on your phone or something. It's playing back. John is back. John, you got to turn the volume down on your phone or something. It's playing back. There we go. Perfect. Thank you. Anyway, so what's going on, fellas? Thanks for coming on. You're a lively bunch. We are live, people. So
Okay.
Go ahead and pledge. So we're going to start off with Rob, and we are going to show Rob's cover. Actually, let's do that. Rob Ratiano, tell us who you are, my friend.
Well, I'm just some dude who likes to draw. No, I've been a fan of comics ever since I was a kid, and always wanted to work in some sort of creative aspect, whether it's comics or animation or and I've done a bunch of different things, podcasting, voice acting, but comics have always been my passion, and I've been lucky enough to get opportunities sprinkled in here and there, and met you at Terrificon, and you approached me and to do a cover for you, and so here we are.
Yeah, you were working on Invincible at the time, and you were coloring it in as well because you do it all, and it was just really impressive. So, what made you come up with the concept to have Skylar pose and model and do this cover?
Well, it's convenient that we date and live together, so I've got an in-house model essentially. It's nice to get reference, and when you can get live reference, that's even better. So I asked her if she would model for me to work on the cover, and being that you were generous enough to give me more or less free reign on what I wanted to do, and I wanted to do more of a maskless version, and show that even though she the character of yours is either it might be have gotten into a little bit of a scuffle. She's pulling a Captain America out of her back pocket and saying she can do this all day.
Well, she's a gritty character, so the cover was really apropos because she doesn't win every fight. I kind of get tired of heroes winning every fight. You know what I mean? Like, He-Man's a joke because he's not a real hero because Skeletor's a freaking joke. I mean, cackling Skeletor always loses and runs with his tail between his legs. We love that Empire Strikes Back because the bad guys actually kick the asses of the good guys, right? Mm-hmm. They got their asses handed to them. And that just emboldens the hero more and makes them more of a hero you root for because it's not easy. It didn't come easy to them. And that's why I love this cover because, she's the bloody face and the cuts but I'm not going down, And that's, to me, that's what we've lost in writing heroes is we either make them crumble and fall apart and someone else has to find them and pick them up, which is stupid because then you're not a hero. The person who lifted you up is, or they can't do anything wrong. Like everything's perfect. So I like my heroes that they do have self-doubt. They do have weakness. They do feel like quitting. But the reason why they're a friggin' hero is because they don't.
Mm-hmm.
You get up and you face the day anyway. You face the fight, whether you're going to win or lose. You can do this all day. And that's what we loved about the Captain America movie, right? He's getting his ass kicked in an alleyway. He's way outclassed. But he's going to get up anyway. He's going to fight. And that's what we root for. So this was an awesome cover. What made you decide to go with this composition, though? Like head-on, they got the knife in the wall, the bullet holes.
Well, the head-on thing, I took a few different photos of her at different angles, and so I just ended up liking this one the most. And being that is it Grace? Is that her main name?
Yeah, Grace O'Connor.
Yeah. Being that she's more of a street level character, I wanted to just show like the brick wall with the bullet holes and other things that may have come at her and everything to just kind of show like she survived whatever attack that's on her and she's going forward, similar to what you said just a minute ago.
Yeah, and I get a lot of compliments on this cover. Real quick, there's a lot of people commenting in here. What's up, Will? What's up, DM Ray? Greg Johnston, I thought you had a practice tonight. Jordan Hagar, I'm not sure how you doing. Daniel, you can do indie characters, but what I mean by that creator-owned IP is if it's a character that you created, we're not going to do the commission because unfortunately some people then turn it into a cover, and that's a whole different situation. And we can't deal with that situation. So we'll do, like, if you like Hellboy or any other indie characters, we could do that. But if it's your own creator-owned IP, we can't do a commission of that. So sorry, but that's the situation. We got a bunch of people on. We got Jason with us now too, the letterer of the book, and Ricardo. And we're going to talk with them. Rob, what do you have going on for you? Because I know you were selling some really nice looking sketch covers and stuff, but what do you got going on and where can we find you?
Well, as you mentioned, I'm just putting some stuff up for sale right now because, got to pay those bills. But in terms of that, I'm kind of neck deep in a bunch of commissions right now, but that's not a bad thing. Trying to get those out of the way. In the meantime, getting ready for HeroesCon coming up next month in Charlotte. And then I believe I'm either going to be, I can't remember where I'm going to be in July, but it's either going to be GalaxyCon Raleigh or Terrificon. They're both all on the same weekend, so I can't remember which one I'm going to be at. But, and in the meantime, always open to work with other creators, whether they want, a full done cover like this, or if they're looking for penciler, inker, colors, because I try to do a little bit of everything, and any other projects that might come along. So I'm available.
And you have a website. You talk about.
I have an Instagram. You can find me at just at Rob Bratiano on Instagram. You can find me on Facebook as well. On Twitter. I have an online portfolio at Behance.net. Just search my name, Rob Bratiano, as well. But yeah, that's where you can find me online.
Awesome. I just want to let everybody know, and I'm sincere when I say this, and those who know me know that I won't push something if I don't really mean it. Rob is a class act, and he's a man of integrity. Sometimes you run into people that are shady in this industry. They change their price, they add a price, they do things. Rob is not that guy. Rob was very upfront, very honest. He actually could have changed his price on me because I came back to him later, but he honored the original price he quoted. The man has integrity. He obviously has great talent. He's very professional, and he meets his deadlines. I highly recommend you work with Rob, whether it's a cover, sequentials, or just go support him and buy his art because, man, he's got some beautiful art out there, and also some funny stories on Facebook. But anyway,
I get a question, Rob? Did you color the cover yourself, or was this another colorist?
No, I did everything. I did pencils, inks, and colors.
That's great. The line hold on the hair is perfect touch.
Thank you. I have been fortunate enough to be able to get a lot of blue lines from other artists, whether it's Dan Jurgens or John Romita Jr. So I've had a chance to play around with other stuff too. So it gave me chances to experiment and then in turn fold it into my own style. So I appreciate it because hair's always been a pain in the ass.
And the reflection on the texturing you did on the metal armor on her shoulder pads is great too. I mean, you really got the texturing on that and the feel that it's metal.
Thank you.
So very cool. Guys, follow Rob. If you aren't, follow him. And don't just follow, support. You can get some great art from him, and you can hire him, and you can get great work. Trust me, I'll be working with him again, and you won't be disappointed. Top-notch professional. I appreciate you, Rob.
Thank you. I appreciate this too. This is fun.
Awesome. All right.
Everybody's welcome to stay as long as you want. If you do have to go, I know you guys always have work to do and you have to drop out. I totally understand. You just say so, and we understand.
Yeah, I actually got to run. I got to get back to that commission list. So thank you for having me on, guys. It was nice to meet everyone. And if you haven't pledged to the Kickstarter, go for it.
Thanks again, man. I look forward to working with you again.
All right, you too, Phil. Everybody have a good night.
Good night, Rob.
Great cover.
Okay, so that was Rob Bertiano. We are going to go to Gus, and then we're going to go over the campaign itself. But I want to highlight the artists. I don't want to keep them too long tonight. This is Gus Mark's cover. Now, I met Gus at Garden State Comic Fest last summer in Jersey. We were friends on Facebook. We didn't really interact. It was the first time I met you in person. Always impressed with your work. You do a hyper realistic portrait style. You can also do the superhero cartoon style, so you're really versatile, which I thought was amazing. And I loved your sketchbooks. And I bought your other book that you did sequentials on. And we got to talk, and I said, I want you to do a cover. You said, absolutely. And you had done a sketch cover for one of my campaigns that sold in minutes, which was great. And then you turn this in, and this just has that. Man, it's just got balls. The composition is awesome. What made you go with this composition? Just having the Breath of the Dragon's hand there, fire around her, she's beaten, but still ready to fight. What made you come up with the composition?
The sword hand in the foreground, it has always been something I thought was really cool. I used a similar thing in one of my covers for my comic. And I thought, man, that's really cool. You could do a lot of different things with that. A hand with something in the foreground and the main character through under the arm or above the arm. Right. I always thought was a cool look.
By the way, you can plug the book. Go right ahead.
Yeah. It was Shino Kage, and it was issue 6, I think, was that cover. But it was the sword was up and you could see the character under the sword hand. This one I did the character above the sword hand so that you could see more of her full body and a little bit closer. But I think initially I also seen it. Maybe it was the Obi-Wan, one of the Obi-Wan cover photos or whatever when the series came out, and it was Vader's hand was in the foreground with the saber. And Obi-Wan was in the background. I don't really remember which side of it was on, but I thought, man, that's kind of cool that you know who he's fighting without having to see the character, and fans of this series will who she's fighting without having to see the character, in the cover.
Angel says you're looking for the term testicular fortitude. That's what it has. And Greg Johnson said Gus is the man, so friggin' talented. Yeah, again, a lot of great compliments about this cover. The fire, again, it just shows her grit, her determination. No matter how much she's getting, exhausted and challenged, she's not going to stop. And that just, you encompassed my character. Now, forgive me. Some of you read the comics I send to those who, and some of you didn't, but yet all of you nailed what's going on one way or the other. I don't remember if I gave you the comics to read. I don't think I did, Gus, but you really nailed it with her. I mean, it's fantastic. I love it. I appreciate it. And then Jesse Hagee, of course, who I've known for
Yeah.
years, colored, and he always does a great job.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I like working with
so-
him. He's really good.
So where can we find you, and what do you have going on? What are we looking forward to with you?
Right now, this time of year, shockingly, is I do more. If I'm not working on a series, if I'm not working on interiors in a series, I do a lot of like outdoor fine art festivals and do like the charcoal stuff. Like do like live demonstrations of charcoal stuff. So I mean, that's kind of
Nice.
what I do this time of year. And like Rob said, I have Heroes coming up, and then Garden State, and then Terrificon, and then all the bigger conventions on the East Coast here. But aside from that, then every weekend I have like a festival somewhere that I do.
Are you available for commissions, cover work, sequential work? What are you available for?
Yeah, I kind of opened myself up a little bit here now through the summer until the fall, until like probably about August or so. Then I got to close back down. I just ran my last Kickstarter and it ended like a little over a month ago. So I have all those reward tiers that I'm kind of doing, every week. I may have bit off a little more than I can chew with that.
All right, where can we find you?
You can find me on Facebook. I mean, I'm most available on Facebook.
And it's Gus
under
Mock,
Mock.
M-A-U-K.
I have an Instagram, but it's Gus _Mock _artist. I'm just not as I post a lot. I have a lot of followers on there. I don't answer as many messages on there as I do on Facebook.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
Phil,
again.
do you mind if I ask a nerdy art question?
Sure.
So I'm always interested in everybody's technique because everybody is different. So, Gus, are you pure traditional, digital guy, mixture?
I try to do 99% traditional stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
And you did pencils and inks for this?
Yeah.
And what kind of inking tools do you prefer?
Well, I'm the worst inker that exists. So
No.
I try
the line
to just
starts here, but I got you.
I try to just limit it to like 4 tools, no matter what the cover is, just 4 specific tools. That way, at least the lines look similar. You know what I mean? If that makes sense. That was something I saw on YouTube. Like, don't use more than like 4 or 5 tools. If you're using pens or whatever. So I think it was like one of those like Bitmoji or Bimoji Cambio giant Japanese brush pens that I used for all the blacks. And then it was like a small brush pen, like the pocket brush.
Yep.
I used that. And then I used it was like a 0.3 or a 0.2 micron for the outlines. Like, honestly, I'm really bad at inking. I don't have like a set. It's just like whatever's laying close to me, I grab. I think the background I used like bottled ink, like speedball ink or something, and splattered the whites in there a little bit.
Well, you've got a nice mix of that fine line, right? So you've got your real fine line detail, but in the head of the dragon gauntlet, is a nice, almost that brushy shadow.
Yeah. The dragon head I
It's
use mostly brushes, and I'm always trying to get like a dry brush effect, but I can't.
It's a hard mix to do, right?
Yeah.
To combine the two without it looking too separated.
Yeah.
If you're doing your fine line on top of your brush, you want it to blend.
Yeah.
But that could be a hard thing to do, and you've captured it very well there.
And like, to ask a question to you guys, like, I don't know if you guys all traditionally ink a lot of your own stuff, but I can only ink until my hand starts to hurt. And then I got to set it down and take a half-hour break and then come back in. Because I don't know if you guys have the same issue or not, but I know after 45 minutes, my hand just hurts too bad, and I just got to stop and step away for a couple minutes.
Yeah, I get that. I feel that. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. About that hour time, it just doesn't obey.
Yeah.
And then the lines get bad, and then
Yep.
my brain is saying it's going to be nice and thin and thick and thin, and then my hand does something else.
Well,
That's when you
okay.
got to step away. Yeah, absolutely.
So my question to all of you is, am I a pain in the ass as a character designer? Because Breath of the Dragon's probably a pain in the ass to draw, and I've heard that Tragedy's a pain in the ass to draw.
I would say that I feel for your interior artists.
Yeah.
That's Ricardo there. Yeah.
Ricardo is
Yeah, that's-
awesome. He's awesome. He doesn't get enough credit. I mean, he draws all of this shit, man. And you haven't even seen the characters that I have coming up. The designs are incredible. And I asked him first, I was like, Ricardo, are you going to be okay with drawing this? Because, I even offered him, I'm not kidding, I offered him a higher page rate for the pages that he has to do the more detailed characters.
It makes good reading and it makes good design, right? But we all do it as artists. I think if anybody who designs their own characters, and I've got a project where I design like over 30 unique characters, and you do it and you think like, this looks great. Maybe it'll show up in 2 or 3 pages, and then next thing you know, the writer's going, I love this guy. Like, let's put him in everything. And you're going, oh, I never thought about what the back looks like. I only needed it for this little bit,
Right.
and then you get in trouble. But that's what makes it worth it. That's what fans really like. When fans feel like we're cutting corners on simple designs and stuff, they feel it. But yeah, somebody said you find shortcuts. Absolutely. You go, hey, can we change this to a night scene? Let's do a lot of shadows. Can we do?
Yeah.
You find and you can do it impactfully by using silhouette and stuff sometimes.
Right.
As part of your storytelling.
You
There's
know
ways
your stuff,
around it.
Jerry. That's exactly it. Yeah.
Samuel.
50% dark.
Yeah.
Let's Do This said that this is definitely one of the covers he's going to pick up, which brings me to the next cover, which I love every cover, and I'm not implying that, they're not great, but I was so happy to get a cover that didn't have tragedy on it, because, when you're starting a new book, you have to put your main character, and without spoilers, it's hard for you to put other characters that people don't know who they are yet. So you got to wait until you're issue 4 or 5 before you can really start expanding into the other characters in the book. And I approached Javier and I said, hey, I don't want tragedy on this cover. Let's do something else. And I'm going to get into the whole point of this cover after, but Javier did a fantastic, this is John Cottis. Javier did an awesome cover here. I love the art, and February Ferdian did an amazing color job. And this is just awesome. Jesse, who's the head of the Chinese mafia, who was Breath of the Dragon's boss, which things are changing in this issue, can travel through shadows. And this is him about to take the Breath of the Dragon's head off. And the Breath of the Dragon's ability is if he's in proximity of you, he can read your future 3 to 5 seconds. So you can't tag him. But the Shadow Realm throws off his precog ability, so he can't read into the Shadow Realm, which makes Jesse a very formidable opponent for him. One of the few that can tag him. And Jesse and him fight in this story, and he wounds the Breath of the Dragon just in time for the Breath of the Dragon to get away, and there's tragedy waiting for round 2. So this book is balls to the wall. It's kick-ass. It resolves a major issue in the story we're going to get to. So I was talking to Javier. I was like, let's do a cover. I've been wanting to work with Javier for a while. He did some great work on Greed and Tempest. And, following Javier for 2 years now, I think. I've just been wanting to work with you for a while. So I was very happy to get a cover. Walk us through your ideas on the composition, and was it a pain in the ass to draw the Breath of the Dragon?
All right. Well, first of all, good evening, everybody. I've been a big fan of Frank Miller for a very long time. His Daredevil run is legendary, as everybody knows. And the power set of these characters was really interesting to me. And I was trying to figure out, how do I show it all off without it looking like I'm showing it all off? So when you said that he travels to shadows, well, then it can't be in bright daylight. So I can't have him outside. So indoors was the setting. And then I figured out, okay, where's the setting he's already been shown in? And that was his office. I'm like, okay, we can make it his office. It's all dark. A couple issues back, he already took care of some bad guys this way. Really cool stuff. And then once you explained the other characters' powers, I tried to figure out, okay, I got two Asian men. They're going to be fighting each other. They need to look different enough. So that forced me to kind of look into some background and how, facial structure, hair structure, blah, blah, to make sure that they're different enough. Because the last thing I want is two generic looking people on a cover. That's not cover worthy.
Right.
All right. So I recently got a Frank Facetta calendar. And I noticed that all his characters are extremely twisted. They're either at the beginning of their power move or at the completely end of the power move. And everybody around him is already reacting extremely, thrown back, killed, destroyed, or angry. So that generated the top character holding his sword behind his back.
See, I love that. I love that. There's so much energy in his ready to swing pose. And I like that you put him up on the wall. Like it's unorthodox. It's not just coming through a wall or whatever. It's, he's coming from above. He's surprising you, and which you would use that to your advantage, right?
Exactly. Tactically speaking, it would be high and behind somebody. That's the way I would do it. I tried doing it from the ceiling because I thought that visually would remind me like of Aliens, right? But since it's a cover and it's horizontal, it would be kind of tough with the tragedy trade to sell all of that. So a sidewall worked better.
Yeah, because the roughs you sent me, they were so good, it was tough to decide, but that's ultimately where we went, right? Because of the logo, it was just hard. But you had sent one where he's in the ceiling. It looked good. Every rough you sent me was great.
And eventually, maybe as a pinup, it would work out, So then that character, I have him completely twisted, but I always try to draw the clothes revealing the action. Because I don't have a spot to do like a little semicircle.
Right.
The little shortcut, like the person swinging. I don't have that. So I use the clothing to reflect it.
Nice. Right.
And then all the clothing is not only, exactly. It's reflecting his swing and reflecting gravity. So, and he's silently screaming. I think that worked out really good. I gave him a Japanese katana, nice and curved, to contrast with the straight Chinese sword in Dragon's Head.
Dude, I love this cover. I mean, again, I love them all. I love Gus's, I love Jerry's, I love John's, I love everybody's. But again, it's just so refreshing for me. As much as Tragedy's my girl, I love her, but I wanted something. And Jerry, again, it was nice that Jerry was able to put other characters on his cover, which we're going to show. It was just nice to start exploring and expanding on the other characters that I've created in this story. So this was awesome. And I'm going to remind everybody what I've said. When I say this, I'm not saying this just because they're on the show. I'm saying this, I worked with them for a reason. Javier was lightning quick to send roughs and to get the job done. And he communicated well and he produced fantastically. You hired the right artist when you can't decide which rough you want. And Javier nailed it. He's an absolute pro and he's affordable. And I highly recommend if you're a publisher of no matter big publisher, small publisher, you really need to look at these people that I have here today and you need to hire them. There are so many great talents that aren't getting the opportunities that I'm telling you, they need to get it. And Javier is one of them. So absolutely. I appreciate you, man. I will work with you again. Absolutely. I look forward to it. And I do. I love this cover. And I'm glad you mentioned the motion because I was going to bring that up of the clothing and the him about to swing. Because usually people do the follow through, not the before. Because to make the before look like a movement is not always easy. And you did it. So, and like you said with the clothing. So fantastic.
Yeah, thank you. I actually had to have my daughter, take a photo of me. I got my trusty sword right here to do this whole thing, and I tilted the image a little because if it's just straight up, it gets a little boring, so I tilted it a little bit to the right.
Mm-hmm.
And it just gave it a little bit more drama. And I like drama in my covers. I like to see when it's about to happen. One of the things I've enjoyed recently was when people started doing 2 minutes later covers, where they had the classic cover, then 2 minutes later, what would happen afterwards. I keep thinking of this, as the really cool scene, and then imagining what that 2 minutes later would look like. Would be them after trading sword blows and pretty much destroying the whole office. That in my mind is where I want to lead with this. So yeah, it was a pleasure. And it being so dark and in black and white, it's a nice contrast. Like I said before, 50% is dark. That's my cheat. I'll give it away. But that way it also focuses just on the people. I'm not going to blind you with my ability with perspective. I have none. So my figure work is my thing. And I only used a ruler in this 4 lines: the window, the ceiling, the wall, and the sword. That's it. The rest of it is just hand drawn with a lot of love. The design of the characters is great. I don't get to draw people in suits very often, so that's always cool. And I got some Quentin Tarantino vibes here. So it's all in my bracket. It's all there in my wheelhouse.
I've been told tragedy is like if you took Kill Bill, Boondock Saints, Big Trouble in Little China, and John Wick and threw it all in a blender. So, and the thing is, those of you who have read the first 4 issues, you have no idea where this is going. I'm telling you, none of you know where this is going. This is not typical vigilante book. It's not Daredevil or Elektra. You have no idea where this is going, but you will if you back it and you keep going, and because there's an ongoing series. So we're going to move forward to Jerry's cover. Man, there's some great covers here. Here's Jerry's. Now, Jerry had sent me this art a long time ago, and I purposely held on to it for book 5 because of the 5, right? You got the 4 corners and her in the middle. And I was so thrilled to get a cover that had, again, more than just tragedy on here. So I love this cover a lot. I mean, I really love this cover, and I have the originals of everything, and it's so awesome to own the originals to these covers. So thank you. Obviously, I pay for them, but my criteria, I tell all artists, is you must be willing to sell the original art, or you can't do a cover for me. I'm sorry, because I collect all the art. Look behind me. I'm an art collector. So, and when it's my character, I'm like Daffy Duck. Mine, all mine. But so Jerry, go through this with us. What your thoughts were when you were doing the cover.
Yeah, it's funny because I really didn't have any intention of it being a cover per se. You had sent me the first issue. We had been working together. You had helped me out with some stuff, and were so generous to send me some copies. And I know you're a big art collector. Obviously, everybody can see behind you. And
I own a lot of your pieces, your X-Men stuff, and yeah.
Right. So I knew, you had purchased these other characters, but I didn't know how many people were just doing pinups and things for you to put on your wall, not necessarily to print or whatever. So that was my initial thought process. And then after reading the first issue, I was like, this is really exciting. There's this character that's got a really cool, funky design that has a lot of interesting things you can do with her. The braid brings you motion. There's different weapons, the mask, unmasked. But then there's also these 4 other characters that you get introduced to briefly in the beginning, but you don't know what they are, who they are. Are they going to be allies? Are they going to be enemies? We're going to have to see. And it's a fairly standard kind of montage type of imagery. I've used it before in other things, and so I just found it was a way to balance out a background, but focus on the main character of tragedy and that just awesome design.
I like her pose though. And everybody who knows me knows that, especially because I have little girls, I don't want the character sexualized. I am not a prude. I'm not against sexual characters. And personally, I love sex and I love women. That's the way it is. I have a hot wife. But tragedy's strength is not in that. and I don't want it to reflect that. So I always appreciate when you can make a character look feminine, but not over hypersexualized. You know, her stance, she has a strong but feminine stance here, and I love that. You know, because um, I'm a big proponent of women go through a lot of crap we don't go through physically, monthly, childbirth, menopause, and I appreciate that. I respect that. I do. And women are so much stronger in so many other ways than they even realize, and that's part of what sparked this character. Is I never met a woman who realized how empowered she was, how beautiful she was, how capable she was. They all doubt it, and that's why they marry good men to remind them every day, right? Right, guys? Right,
Right
guys?
on.
All right.
Yep.
So when an artist is able to capture femininity without being sexual, it always draws me to it. I love it. You know, so I was very happy with this. I just love the way she's pulling the sword. She's ready to fight. But again, you know, feminine hips and just the way she's turning her body slightly. It's very feminine, and I love it.
I appreciate it. I did do a little bit of research at looking at different kinds of um, martial arts fighting stances, things where would you put your feet, how would you have that hand, and of course then you have the classics of you have to have the S curve within the form,
Right.
and then you offset your hips and your shoulders to bring motion to a static figure, and those are all little tricks and tidbits that we use in all the things we do, and I tried to use them to the best of my abilities here, and I was really happy with the way it came out. And again, it was my intention was to just do something kind because I know you love your character and I could feel your passion for your character, and it inspired me to want to draw this right away. So I mean, I think it was literally like a day or two after you sent me the issue, I think I had this back and was sending
Dude,
you a photo of it.
I was floored. I was floored. I had no idea it was coming. I was floored. It was very kind, very generous. And again, you know, I hope you didn't feel obligated to do it, because when I help somebody, I do it for one reason. I can. I never do anything with the intention of getting anything in return.
Agreed. Yep.
But it
was truly, it was inspiring. I mean, it was, I love indie comics. That's which, I wouldn't be doing my own series if I didn't love indie comics. And I've been working in indie comics, for the past 7 years on a book that not a lot of people know. But I love that thing. I love that idea of here's something you may not have heard of or thought of or seen before. And it's somebody that could be your neighbor down the road, or the guy you walk by, or the woman that you got your coffee from in the morning. This is their creation and they put it together. And I find that really inspiring. So when I see great indie artists, publishers, writers who are putting stuff together, I get really inspired to do my take on them. And that's exactly what happened here. And when I get inspired,
Jerry,
I have to get it out.
Send me the link right now on Facebook Messengers. We're going to take a moment from Tragedy. I want to promote your Kickstarter. I want to show your page and show everybody what they need to be backing along with Tragedy.
Absolutely. Let me grab that for you. Let's see here.
We're a community. We're all working hard to make a livelihood out of what we love, right? I mean, John Kotsis does his comics, and I love that he does them raw, organic. He does everything. And Jerry is doing his Kickstarter, and Javier is working on books and an artist, and Jason and Ricardo. And I love the community. I love what everybody's trying to do, and I want to see everybody succeed. And part of the reason why I hope to succeed is so those who haven't come up yet, I can help bring them up. If you haven't gotten there first, and I want to help bring you up. So, all right. So we've got M Squad issue 1, and this is Ryan's here and Kenny's here. Hang on, guys. Let me put you in. Gentlemen, I didn't know if Ryan was going to make it.
I'm here.
Real quick, I'm going to segue. Ryan painted a cover that it looked great, but art always looks better in person. And when I got this painting in person, I was like, holy shit, wow. I mean, the work he put in, fantastic. But we're going to get to that in a minute. Shazam! What's up, Kenny?
Evening, gentlemen.
Man's
Now
working
we
hard.
have
Got the glove on
M
and
Squad
everything.
issue 1. Oh, yeah, he's always working. I slave drive him. M Squad issue 1. 30 backers with 29 days to go. Already funded. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Tell us, do
Wow.
you want me to play the trailer?
Yeah, absolutely. It does give the story, and I can fill in the gaps as we go.
Love that Adelso cover.
Wow.
He killed it.
That Adelso cover, man. I reached out to Adelso. I was like, dude, you just squad about why do we want to back this? I back C.
So M Squad is, as I said, it's a classic superhero comic. Oh, I can hear myself. Sorry. As the trailer said, so it goes back to when I was a teenager, and I, like everybody, was inspired by comics. I wanted to make my own comic and had no idea how to do it. I created superheroes, drew it with ballpoint pen and copy paper, and really had no idea, but the dream was there, the vision was there, the story was there. So over all these years, I've learned and worked with other people and grown as an artist. And a couple of years ago, I decided it was time to put it all together, and I wrote a script for M Squad and drew the whole book. Got a great colorist and letterer to finish it up. So the book is completely done, 100%. All the art, color, writing, script,
Gwen's a great
everything's done.
colorist.
Script, everything is done. Yeah, Gwen did a great job with that. She is fabulous. As you mentioned, we have the variant cover by Adelso Corona, who's a great friend, and he really did a fantastic job. So this is just a lifetime dream of me to have my own comic, my own characters, something that I can have in my hands and give to you and have you guys enjoy this story that's 35 years in the making. I'm so humbled and blessed to have funded. It's my first campaign. I really had no idea what I was doing to start with, but we've got there, and now we're looking to keep that rolling into issue number 2. I have a 5-issue story arc that's all written out. I've started working on pages for issue 2, and it's getting better and better every minute that I continue to work on it. So it's superhero action that is for everybody. It's anybody of any age can read it. It's fun. And this is the intro. This gives you introduction to kind of the team, to what ends up being the newest member of the team, and leads us into a mystery of who sent this antagonist that they have to overcome in issue 1. And that's going to be through the continuation of the first 5 issues.
Very cool. Guys, go back it. Somebody drop the link to this in the chat for me, please. Go back it, support. Let's show him some love. This is a guy that, as you can see, the passion has been over years. So let's reward that passion. I mean, aren't we tired of the same old corporate crap that's being put out, agenda-driven, shareholder-driven bullshit? Here we have a guy that just loves comics. He's passionate about it and just wants to give you something to love. So all the more reason that's the book you got to back.
Yes,
So.
thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for taking a look at it. If you don't back, share it if you can. I appreciate all the love and all the feedback that I've gotten. It's been amazing.
It's
So
a
I
great
got
looking
14
book, man.
backers,
Good luck.
$706. We're almost there.
Nice.
So we're almost funded, $706. Let's go, people. Let's do this. We're going to
I
go
have a
over
question
now
for you, Phil, about that though. I noticed you identify it as chapters as opposed to issues, and I was wondering what the thought process was on that.
You know, you're the first person to ask me that, and I was wondering when somebody was going to ask me that. Very cool. I do issues with all my other books, but with Tragedy, it's chapters, and the reason is, to me, this is a saga. This is a grander story than anybody realizes, but it's only unfolding. And I felt chapter was more apropos because it's this epic saga of what this woman's world is and what it's going to go to. There's immortals in this. There's Chinese mysticism. There are undead Chinese demigods and demons. This isn't just some mafia book.
Can I be a part of that?
What's that?
I need to be a part of this. It's awesome.
Listen,
Chinese vampire lords and all kinds of stuff. Sign me up.
There's demons. There's so much going on. I wish I have so many scripts written. I have 26 written, 75 issues worth of stories in my head. There's so much fantastical stuff. This story is well beyond her. And the first 5 issues alone will tell you that, because she's running parallel with the Breath of the Dragon through the first 5 issues. And the Breath of the Dragon and her, their paths will constantly cross throughout this series. And there's a reason for that. There's a mystical reason for that if you read the book, you'll find out. I'm telling you, if you look at this book, you think it's just some urban vigilante. It is not. It is so much more epic and vast than that, and we're just getting started. You know, you're building character. You're building the exposition so you can get to understand what her motivations are, who she is, why she is. And in issue 4, I introduce a new villain that's going to be for the next story arc, and he's in issue 5. Okay, we tease at the villain in issue 4, and he is now here in issue 5. And this guy's this is a villain. I like to create the villains that you hate to love, and the villains you love to hate. I mean, you look at shows like Lost. Do you remember Lost, Ben? He was a villain, but you liked him. You know, and I like to do that in my books. And 5 concludes and closes off some plot lines while it's opening up new ones, because life isn't as cut and dry as these nice, tight fit stories. I'm not saying I'm as good a writer as him by any means, but I'm told I write in a very similar style to Chris Claremont, where I'm constantly opening up these threads, and it's like a spider web of things going on, because life is that intricate. The only thing I do that Chris didn't do is I do give you a little closure. I close a few plot lines as I'm adding new ones. And don't get me wrong, Chris is a legend, and he's my favorite writer of all time, and that's probably why I have a similar style, because I'm influenced by him so greatly. And I love Peter David and a bunch of other, and Howard Mackey and stuff, and Chuck Dixon. But so I'm weaving threads. Like, there are things that are going on that you don't realize when you read it, but when you get to a certain event, you're going to look back and go, oh shit, he planted the seed well back there. And it's episodic, it's epic, it's a saga. And I felt chapter was more suitable than Issue. Besides, she has enough issues for everybody. So I appreciate that question. That's a great question. I'm going to go to a few more covers because I don't want everybody sitting here bored out of their mind all day. But then I really want to get to the trailer and I want to get to the project and show people what's going on. Is it Kotsis or Kotsis?
Kotsis.
Kotsis. That's what I thought because you're Greek, right?
Exactly right.
All right.
I noticed that Ricardo's not on, right?
What's that?
I noticed Ricardo's not on.
Yeah, he lost his internet. He just came back.
Well, starting off, I just want to say Ricardo did a fantastic job.
Here. That's right.
I agree. Ricardo's a beast. He's a silent beast.
And I've seen all the books. I've read through all of them. And the characters you
silent assassin. Absolutely. And thank you for saying that, John.
Ricardo's amazing. He deserves everything he gets forward.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Ricardo.
But let's get to
first thing. Sorry, my English. I am learning, and I told you this cover is amazing. Congrats for everyone, and the merit of the concept is fulfilled because you have described all the character, and I just put on in the paper.
It's not just putting it on paper. See, this is the thing. I know I was very specific in my designs to you, but if you don't interpret it right and bring it to life, all she is an image in my head. You are why she exists in the world. And that's why I appreciate artists, and every artist that works with me on the design, no matter what, if I gave you all the references, you get co-design creation because you brought her to life. Period. She's an image in my head that nobody else gets to see if you don't put her on paper. So, but speaking of which, John, again, I didn't see this one coming, just like Jerry. The homage to John Romita Jr., which John did give that credit to John Romita Jr., but it was up in the border. It got cut off at the bleed. We are digitally going to put in after John Romita Jr. and give him credit. So don't worry for those of you that flip out over that stuff. I always give artists credit. But John sent this to me out of the blue. I didn't even see it coming. And I was like, oh, wow. Was it X-Men 204, I think it is. Yep. And great homage. And then I love how you did the dragon in the corner here. That's so freaking cool. What made you come up with choose this cover, John?
Well, first of all, I love tragedy as a series, as a book, as anything. If this became a film, it would be fantastic.
Thank you.
Like I said, Ricardo, he did an excellent job because he makes the book readable, enjoyable. You want to turn page per page, and you want to read more of it.
Thank you.
Did a fantastic job, Ricardo. Fantastic, dude. And the cover, I was thinking, what should I do? And I love that it's a female character. There's not enough of that. And she embodies a female character that's strong, that's fantastic in design. So what I did with it, actually, I had the cover sitting on my sofa next to me, the original comic. And I just looked at it, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to do that. And that's how this cover came to be. And I love John Romita. His work is fantastic. You know, I've been a fan of his for years. And it was my pleasure to do something that's a homage to him. And it was definitely my pleasure to contribute something to tragedy. Something that's worthwhile.
Yeah, I loved it. I mean, and great job on her hair, and just, you know, people hate me for the design on her vest, all the cross stitching. They friggin' hate me. They're like, you know, you're acting like I'm an inker with cross hatching here. What is all this shit? But you know what? If Captain America can have scales, she can have cross stitching. So I love this cover, and you know, again, John just blindsided me in a great way, and I was just so appreciative. You know, John, if you haven't been following him, John is very organic. He does everything by hand in his books, his lettering, his coloring, everything. and he stands by it, and he's proud of it, and he should be, and he works hard, and he grinds, and he's putting out a bunch of stuff. So tell us, John, where can we find you, and what tell us about some of your books and what you're doing.
Well, I'm on Facebook. I'm also on Instagram under Psycho Comics Art under there. And right now, what I'm currently working on is my original character, the Bionic Caveman, Samurai Ninja Rabbits. Those have been in the work for years, and finally got myself to do it. And now I'm currently working on a graphic novel called After. So I'm putting that together at the moment, and a few other projects side to side. And it's all under Anti Entertainment. That's also on Instagram as well.
Very cool. And when are your books, like when will you have books out for people? And do you have any show appearances coming up?
I just did the Forest Hills Comic Con. I'm going to see this summer the schedules and what comes up, you know. And basically, as far as release dates, there's no official release dates at the moment. I'm working at the same time on all the projects, and I'm doing this all by myself, meaning inking, penciling, writing, everything. So there's no official release dates. It's just get them done. I do 5 pages of a book, move on to the next 5 pages of that, 5 pages. That's my system. That's the way I work.
Okay.
So we're just putting everything all together now. And when they're done, hopefully people will enjoy them. I know a lot of people have been waiting for the Bionic Caveman for some reason. All right, we'll see how that goes.
Very cool. Again, go follow John, you know, support artists. We're all just working our asses off trying to make a living here and do what we love and we're passionate about. And John is very passionate. And again, John, thank you for turning an awesome cover.
It was my pleasure. My pleasure.
Nice work.
I tried, you know, I try to be cognizant of the colorists I use for people's covers because, you know, you work hard to put down great lines, and I want to make sure that you, as an artist, are comfortable and enjoy the line, you know, the colors on there. You know, I don't want it to mess up.
No, when you sent this cover with the colors, I loved it. It was awesome. The job is fantastic with the colors on this. It pops.
Good. By the way, just to let you know, Ricardo actually speaks very fluent English. This is an act. He's full of shit. He does this every time. He owes me money. I don't understand. You know, it's his act. So don't let him fool you. Right, Ricardo?
Oh, this is very, very. I'm ashamed because my English is not good enough, but I am trying to make these comics because I love drawing female hero, and in my childhood I loved comics in 19s. I love this, and I'm trying to put on this in the tragedy, and in composition and storytelling. And Phil, I'm sorry, Phil.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Just and talking about this cover, I love this. All covers showing this live and nice composition and very good ideas for all covers.
All right, we have to interrupt for something important. My bear is here. Kaylee Bear, say hello to everybody.
Hello.
What do they need to do?
By tragedy.
Tell them, don't tell me.
You should support tragedy.
Tell
Hey,
them,
Kaylee.
show me the money. Ricardo
Look
said,
extra
"Hey,
sad.
Hello.
Yeah, you know, Ricardo has become family with us. We do video calls all the time. And he's my brother from Brazil, and the girls love him and his wife Susie, and they love them, and they keep asking me when we're going to go see them in Brazil. So, Ricardo, make room. Right?
Kaylee is teaching me English, right, Kaylee?
Teaching him English.
Yeah.
Hey, Rally, what's going on? John Andrew, how are you? So, John, again, thank you for an awesome cover. I appreciate it. And by the way, I don't know if we did. Javier, where can we find you, and where can someone reach out to you for commissions, cover work, sequential work, etc.?
Oh, yeah. I just did a Google search for J Lugo Art. That's JLUGOART. First 10 results, they're all me. So that's it. Right now, I'm super busy with sequential work. I got Fringe Night #1 remastered that I'm drawing. I have a 3-issue series with Silverline Comics coming up right after that with Ron Fortier. Actually, he reached out to me like, "Hey, you bum! It's been 4 months. I haven't heard from you." So I've been in touch with him. And I got my own comic that you mentioned, Green Tempest, that I'm trying to get issue 2 off the ground too. But right now I'm doing 9x10s, 9x12s. I can pencil them, ink them, and color them and ship them really quick. So that's the only, that and sketch covers is the only thing I'm doing right now. Because I can get those out in a weekend and then get back to work Monday through Friday for comics. Because sequential art, it's just takes a long time to do well, and
Right.
you know that's the sacrifice that we put in, and to get comics. I mean, to get comics made, you understand the hustle.
And by the
to get
way,
it done.
you know, he says he does them quickly, but trust me, they're going to be high quality work. So go
Yeah,
do
just
it.
check out the
Go
images.
commission it.
Of course, I'm here to help.
Check all of them out. I'm telling you, hire all of them. Even that guy Jason over there. We'll talk about that guy in a minute. And Ryan and the Kinster. All right, so I'm going to take a break a second from the artists because I do have to show this campaign. We have a lot to offer on here. I'm going to play the trailer first to to chapter 5. You can see the trailers to the other 4 on the campaign if you want to kind of catch up and see what's going on. But here is chapter 5. So that's a trailer for chapter 5. I like the music thing. He is in the chat, and he actually reviewed the first 5 chapters story arc. So you can go check that out on his page. He gives you a spoiler-free review. I appreciate that. Thank you, DM Ray, for doing that. We've got 19 backers, $850. We are not funded yet, guys. What are we waiting for? Don't make me toilet paper your house. Come on, let's go. Anyway,
Phil,
that's all
you
the
are
other
you are
videos to the
truly
other,
a cruel
books that were done
taskmaster.
here.
You made poor Ricardo draw
Why is that?
upshot 3-point perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Javier knows what I'm talking about. We saw that one panel, and you go, ooh.
That was echoes of George Parrish right there, Ricardo. Nice. I tip my hat to you, bro. That's not easy.
That is
Let
not
me tell
easy.
you something. There are a few times where I have the specific angle I want as a writer, but most of the time, I trust my artist. I'm not the sequential storyteller. You are. I'm the guy who puts the words on paper, and I honestly feel writers need to. If you can't trust your artist, then you shouldn't have hired him. You need to trust your artist to be able to help tell the story just as much as your dialogue and your captions do. And if you don't trust them, you hired the wrong person, or maybe you're just not ready to work with an artist, because you guys do your best when I leave you the hell alone. Let you create. Now, that's not to say that sometimes I don't say, hey, Ricardo, maybe we try this angle. But there's also plenty of times where I had a camera angle in mind and Ricardo goes, what about this? And I go, oh, crap, that's even better. Because that's his job. That's his specialty. That's what he does. That's what he brings to the book. And you have to respect artists with that. You have to respect that the artist knows how to tell a sequential story and that his art is telling as much, if not more, of the story than my dialogue and captions. So I'm very strong in that, giving that, I won't even say giving, but leaving that freedom for an artist, because look, I rep artists, and I've dealt with some people that are micromanagers, and they think that you're supposed to read their mind, and there's like 5 billion edits because you didn't do exactly what they wanted. Cut the crap. You micromanage, you're not getting the best work, and you can't control everything. Let the artist be the artist. I believe in that. Anyway,
Yes,
my rant is over.
it's very difficult when the writer tie up the hands of the artist, because the creative of the artist make the change angles or uh, create the great perspective for the scene, and some writer don't like change the with have in your mind. Do you understand what you're saying?
Absolutely, we get you. And you're right. Look, my only ego is putting out a professional book. And at the end of the day, if we all recognize what our role is and what we're supposed to be bringing, and we check our egos at the door, then you're going to have a good creative team, and the chances of having a solid book are even better. Because isn't that what it's about?
Yeah.
That book represents all of our talents. And if that book looks like shit, we look like shit. So put the ego away and let's just make a great, fun story, right?
If you're not Alan Moore, don't be sending some 800-page crazy script. We don't like it. Writers out there, anybody who's a writer watching this, we don't like it. Give us the freedom to visually tell the story. Give us some input. But yeah, if you're not Alan Moore and nobody else is Alan Moore, don't write that stuff. It don't work.
Well, even Kenny's here, and Kenny's doing sequentials right now on my tragedy manga. So, I mean, Kenny can talk to you about how I'm pretty hands off, and I leave the art direction a lot to the artist. I mean, sometimes I have my vision, but it's a suggestion. And Kenny is just kicking ass on this manga with his pages. To the point where dumbass me, I forget that it's backwards because it's manga. When I go to edit pages, I'm like, this doesn't go right in order. What's going on, Kenny? And Kenny will go, it's manga, Phil. I always know Kenny's being condescending to me because he starts with my name, Phil. It's manga, remember? And I go, oh yeah, that's right. But
I'm gonna start using that.
Yeah, well, you just usually call me asshole. You don't even go to Phil. But so Kenny, I mean, you could talk to that about the sequential work. I'm pretty hands off, right? I'm not a ball buster.
No, when it comes to doing sequentials for you, you're pretty hands off. I mean, what you do is you set up the platform, right? But you do leave room for the art to go in different directions, so long as it serves the story properly and it serves the overall vision, right? And it's one of the reasons why I make it a practice to talk to all creators, like just have a regular bullshit conversation about what your vision is, what was the inspiration behind the writing, and some of the characters, so that visually I can tailor whatever it is that I come up with to you, to the mood that you want to convey, the messages that you want to convey visually, right? Ricardo's done an awesome job at that. A lot of the cover art that I've seen on this campaign and on previous ones, have done that very, very well. And with what I'm doing with the manga, I feel like it'll be a fresh take on a classic, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah, and that's what we were going for. I told Kenny, do not try to copy Ricardo. Use different camera angles, even add takeaway panels, add pages. I don't care. We wanted this to be its own book. It is going from the script of book one, but it's a manga. It's done differently. And I wanted Kenny to explore Kenny's style and not feel he had to adhere to what Ricardo did. What Ricardo did is amazing. That's the Western book. We're doing an Eastern book. And I want it to be its own flavor, its own story. And like you said, not a reboot, but just like a 2.0 to hit the manga audience. So I told Kenny from the start, I do not want you to replicate the greatness of Ricardo. I want you to make the greatness of Kenny and just do that. And we're perfect. And Kenny went by the script, and he's not looking at what Ricardo's doing because he doesn't want to be influenced, because Ricardo's done some great camera angles and some great things. And I'm very, very grateful and happy with how the manga is turning out. And very dynamic, a lot of energy. And it's got that Cowboy Bebop style manga. I don't know what the name of the style is, but it's just awesome. And very happy with it. I just want to show everybody this. Do not sleep on this. This is getting an ad in the trade paperback. The trade paperback is going to have some big name covers on it. And when you pay for the ad in here, instead of Facebook where you could be pissing in the wind, you don't know who it's going to, this is going to your demographic. And not only is it going to go in the first printing, but when I go to second printing, third printing, your ad is going to be in the book. And that's every book I sell at shows. That's every book I sell on a campaign. I do well on campaigns with tragedy, almost 300 backers usually. And at conventions, I've sold over 4,000 issues of number one just organically on my own. And I will be going to distribution at some point. But so don't pass up on this, because you're going to be hitting your exact demographic. Bless you, Javier. You're going to hit your exact demographic with these ads. And you're going to hit a good amount of people for the money that you're spending. And you can quantify where it's going, unlike Facebook. So I wouldn't sleep on these the trade paperback ad at all. If you have a convention, if you're an artist, if you have a repping company, a publishing company, a comic store, anything pop culture, a toy store, it really would benefit you. I mean that. I'm serious. It's a very good option. I really recommend you look at this and take it seriously. And if you don't, no harm, no foul. Retailer tier, Philbo Publishing Bundle. You can get everything I've published so far. Withered is still in production. Will is kicking ass on this book. It's the first book that I haven't had done prior to the campaign, so I apologize. But Will has just been in high demand, and he's giving the best work of his career on this book. So that'll be out soon. The people who back the campaign for Withered will get their books before anybody else, so don't worry about that. But this will also be available in this campaign. We've got blank sketch covers, sketch cover packs. And I just want to remind you, we got some Kickstarter exclusives. We got these one-off, look at Kenny Calderon, a Taskmaster Breath of the Dragon sketch cover. That's original art. Zealot from Wildcats versus Tragedy. So we got some good stuff. Sean Carlson with Elektra versus Tragedy. And Deathstroke the Terminator versus Breath of the Dragon. On Vu's art, we've got Michael Gerlich's Breath of the Dragon Unmasked, and we've got J.M. DeSantis with a dynamic falling from the sky tragedy. And then we've got these Kickstarter exclusives that are limited. I promise you, when I say the limited to that number, that is the number. I do not print any more. I do not go into second printing. I don't change the color and make it a variant. These are one-offs. This is it. Not one-offs, but there's like 30 or 25 limited to these, and that's all there's ever going to be in the world. Promise you. So this is going to be a lava foil by Luis Etienne Vilhermosa. This is a glow-in-the-dark cover. Rob Powers did the mask. This is going to be sweet. It's limited to 25, glow-in-the-dark. Listen, hindsight's a bitch. If tragedy blows up and goes big, you're going to regret not having this very rare book. And I'm being serious. That's not a marketing pitch. It's the truth. How many people kick themselves for not hanging on to something they had from Todd McFarlane's Spider-Man because they didn't think it was going to blow up? I'm just saying. And then we got a sketch cover with Kevin Anthony DeCastro's cover art. You can get anything drawn on the other side, any other character, and that'd be awesome. So these are limited Kickstarter exclusives only here. If you don't pick them up, there's going to be some available from the print run. If I print 30 and only 6 sell here, I am going to have that 24 left, but that's it. There will be no more. So jump on these Kickstarter exclusives. Don't screw around. I'm telling you, it'll be worth it to you. We've got Ricardo. I told Ricardo I want a gatefold cover. To hell with that. Like X-Men #1 with Jim Lee and them, I want a gatefold cover, a trifold. So Ricardo did this. And as you can see, this would be the main cover in the front. This would be the back cover. And then this is the cover that folds out. And this is the studio cover, cover A. It's a trifold. Ricardo kicked ass on it. I appreciate you, Ricardo, for doing this. You know, Ricardo is obviously the most familiar with these characters, so it was a no-brainer for him to do this. And we tease at a villain right there that is going to be a big problem coming up. So, you know, how was it drawing the cover, man? Was it a pain in the rear end? Are you tired of drawing these characters yet, Ricardo?
Yeah, I love drawing posted and many characters in the same theme. I love this so much, and thank you for guiding me on drawing this.
Well, I mean, you did the layout. I just told you I want all these people on there, have a blast. And you gave me a beautiful work as always. And you got everybody that's key. Now, for those of you who don't know, there are a lot of characters, and one of the things that people say they love about the book is that there are no wasted characters. Everybody has a role to play. This is Tony and Joe. They are the Italian mafia. Tony, they're metahumans, and this is Seamus, her adoptive father, and Deirdre, her adoptive mother. Seamus is not a nice man, and he's the head of the Irish Mafia. That is Michael Walker, who is her love interest. This is the master who trained her, and we find out there's a connection to the Breath of the Dragon. There's Jesse, who travels in shadows, and I'm not going to name him right now. You're going to find out when you read the book. Thank you, DM Ray. He said true, legit use of characters. Randy Funk, what's going on? Don't fake the funk on a nasty dunk. Hey, Phil, don't have time to hang, but want to let you know I backed with 4 add-on covers. You are awesome. Thank you so much. She's going to be off to a great start. Good luck. Thank you, man. I appreciate you and all your support. So, guys, a gatefold cover is a rare thing. You should check this out. This will be a nice, nice keepsake, a nice collectible. So thank you, Ricardo, for that. I'm very serious when I say this. Ricardo was meant for this book.
One thing, Phil. Next campaign, I need a blank cover for make original for campaign.
Hell
okay.
Yeah. Absolutely. Hell yeah.
Thank
Ricardo,
you.
I wanted to write a book that had an 80s writing style, but a 90s art style. And as you can see, Ricardo's art style screams 90s. He was perfect. He was my guy. I knew right away I wanted on the book. I love working with Ricardo. He has no ego. You know, if there's an edit, he's like on it. He's also great. Like if he feels that you can expand a scene by adding a few more panels or even a page, he'll make the recommendation. He's always spot on when he does it. And he just makes me better as a writer, as a creator. He makes the book look beautiful. And Ricardo, I can't thank you enough. I really appreciate you and everything you do on this book. The fact that you're just awesome to work with, you're talented, and it helps that I'm better looking though, because it still makes me feel good about myself. So I appreciate that. That went by everybody.
Thank you very much. Compliment.
And we're going to get to Jason in a minute, but Jason is the letterer on the book. Jason probably hates me because I put a lot of dialogue in some panels and I don't do a lot of dialogue on others because to me it's to suit the story, right? And there are times where Jason is like, what the hell are you doing to me, man? And I know he's thinking that, but he doesn't say anything. He's just a pro through and through. He letters
I don't
the
say
book.
anything to you.
Exactly. You bitch to everybody else, but that's okay. That's okay. And Jason just kicks ass and does a great job. Jason does something else that I appreciate. A lot of comics have over-the-top sound effects, which is great, but I didn't want that for tragedy. I wanted the sound effects to be a little more mature and contained. I didn't want them to be as cartoony and bombastic. So I asked Jason to rein it in a little on those. And that's not easy because you want sound effects to have enough of a comic flair, but I didn't want it to be too over the top, bombastic, cartoony. And I think Jason does a great job with the sound effects on that. So thank you to him for that. And we're going to get back to Jason in a minute. I'm trying to get everybody in. I don't want you guys to sit here bored this whole time. I apologize. This is a Jimbo Salgado cover with Alex Sinclair colors. It's gorgeous. It speaks for itself. Jimbo's a great dude. And Alex he colors a lot of my covers. He's an awesome human being. He always finds time to fit me in despite his busy Marvel DC schedule. Alex, obviously being one of the most sought after colorists in the industry, working for Jim Lee all the time. That's Jim's go-to guy, as well as working with so many others. So thank you to Alex for always finding time to fit me in, and he always meets the deadlines, and he treats me with the same respect he would Marvel and DC, which says a lot about Alex. So I cannot say enough about him. So thank you. And then we got this cover. It's all right. I mean, the artist is kind of a dick, but no, I'm just kidding. So we got Kevin Stewart in the house. Kevin, walk us through this, and then we're going to get to you, Ryan. I know you've been patiently, quietly sitting there. I apologize. Walk us through this, Kevin. What was your thought process in doing this?
I was taking inspiration from Frank Miller. I was going through some dynamic covers, and I ran across his Daredevil Punisher cover, and I thought that's a cool dynamic shot for a cover, but I didn't want to do it exactly the same. So I decided to give Tragedy a little hand here because she's been getting her ass kicked the entire series. I figured I'd show her getting a little, get back on Breath of the Dragon. So I figured I'd show them fighting in a Japanese Chinatown, like a Chinatown area, because it kind of had a little atmos to it. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Frank Miller was the inspiration.
I love it. It's gritty. A lot of people have been complimenting this cover. You can see the influence, but it's its own at the same time. I love it very much. This is going to be the cover that is on the PDF readable for everyone. Some people do the PDF readables without covers. I do not do that. I give you the cover as well, a cover. And the reason, this is a perfect cover to do it. You can't put the gatefold on there, so that would just be silly. But for Ricardo, but this will be the PDF cover, so you'll get to enjoy this no matter what cover you pick. Kevin has done covers for the last several books. They all sell very well. He did the great Tombstone cover last time. I have the great pleasure of representing Kevin, by the way, as well as Kenny, Ricardo. So I'm very and Jason, and I'm very fortunate to work with these gentlemen. They're true professionals, great talents. They put up with my really high strung, hyperactive, balls to the wall, very aggressive personality. Because I don't believe anything. There is no tomorrow. It's done yesterday, and they will tell you I'm a pain in the ass, but they take it in stride, and I appreciate them all. They're my brothers in arms. I know what I am, but that's okay. I'm good with it. And this cover came out great. And the colors are by Chris Sotomayor, who's again another major colorist in Marvel and DC, questionably one of the best in the industry as well. I mean, I think he is. He's a top colorist. He's worked on everything with everybody. He also colors the interiors of the book and makes the book he just enhances and highlights Ricardo's pencils even greater. So Chris Sotomayor, who is a wonderful human being, I cannot say enough great things about Chris. Obviously, he's a professional 30 years, so he's a professional true and true. For me to work with Marvel and DC professionals is a dream come true, but it's also, it makes my job so much easier because Chris is fantastic. I mean, there's no edits. There's never edits. He's a freaking pro, man. This is a guy who's done Will Spatasio and all the big names in the industry. He's and gone over Scott Hanna's inks and everybody. He has colored probably 80% of the books that you have in your collection from the the 90s and early 2000s. So, and even still now. So Chris is awesome. It's amazing to have two of the top colorists in the industry working on my book. So thank you very much to them. I appreciate that. And thank you, Kevin, for an awesome cover. Kevin, where can we find you? And by the way, Kevin has an art book I'm going to show you for sale on this campaign. And he has an original art commission tier that you can pledge on this campaign. So if you want something quality like this, you can, you can get it on this campaign. So tell us where we can find you, Kevin.
Artofkevin.net and artofkevin on Instagram.
And real quick, I'm going to show you this of Kevin's art. If you want an art commission, you get 11 by 17 full figure character with background inked. Kevin can he can deliver the goods, man. This is just awesome. Look at that. And then you've got his art book, which is right here, which is available on the campaign. So please support Kevin through the campaign. He will get the money. 80% goes to him, 20% goes to the campaign. So you're helping everyone. And of course, you got art books by the other guys: Will Pladen, Kenny Calderon, Ricardo Silva, Carlos Ramos, Rod Rodolfo, Rob Powers, and Kevin Stewart. And I have some of the books here I can show you. And then there's Kenny's samples. You can get a commission from Kenny or his art book. Look at that Silver Surfer, Mogo the Planet. Awesome stuff. Awesome sauce. You've got Rob Powers for his book. You've got Ricardo, D&D. You got to love it. You know what Ricardo can deliver. Will Pladen, Carlos Ramos, Rod Rodolfo. Those are art commissions you can get from these guys. So don't sleep on those art commission tiers, fellas, ladies, gentlemen, children of all ages. We're going to go to Ryan, who's been really patient, and then we're going to go to Kenny, and Jason will wait because he's the only one who bitches about me openly. I'm just kidding. So I got this cover in the mail. It's a painting, and a digital picture does not do it justice. As great as this cover looks digitally, I'm telling you, in person, it is a gorgeous, gorgeous work of art. And I love this. It kind of reminds me of Crisis on Infinite Earths. I don't know if that's what inspired you, but yeah. Ryan, talk us through this cover because this is fantastic.
Well, thank you. It's actually oil on paper, so it's that's pretty much what I do. I've been doing oil painting for a long, long time, so I just took the opportunity to do it in oil. I thought it would be a little different than most of the other covers. The inspiration is there's that Crisis on Infinite Earths and a little bit of that Frank Frazetta kind of painting style in there a little bit. you told me that, it's a little bit of the dragon and tragedy of always cross paths over and over again. So with the title Tragedy, I knew that it's going to end bad. So that's kind of direction. That's the direction I took.
I mean, just again, the detail is fantastic, and just little things like the smoke coming out of his nostrils, throwing Jesse in the background as the influence, the kicking up of the dust and the dirt on the floor here, and how it blends, the Chinese sun, the red sun, just a lot of symbolism in here. It is just so beautiful. I cannot thank you enough for this cover. I hope you didn't hate the detail on the characters.
Oh, wasn't that bad. Wasn't that bad. That's why there's no background. I couldn't do it.
No, this has just the right amount of background. But again, true artists know where to put the eye, where you want to focus the eye. So how long does it take you to do a cover like this in oil painting?
This one, I probably did it in, what was it, like 3 or 4 weeks? Something like that. I don't think it was that long. The process of oil painting on the paper actually dries faster because the paper kind of absorbs some of that oil and helps it to kind of set faster. So it was a pretty quick process.
It's fantastic, and I love that you threw Jesse in there and how his manipulation, his influence in the background was fantastic. And I think you read 1 or 2 of the issues, but I don't think you had everything. So I mean, you were going a little blind, and you nailed it.
I was going blind. You just told me that they were going to clash one more time, so I figured that the fight would end and kind of take the title of the book literally. So that was my guess.
It's a beautiful. Well, no, it's beautiful. It's fantastic. I can't say enough about the work you turned in. Thank you so much. The textures, everything that you put into this. I highly recommend. I don't know if you're available or you're too busy, but I highly recommend people commission Ryan, whether it's personal commissions, cover commissions. You got to reach out to Ryan. Where can we find you?
I have a website. It's like under construction right now. It's artofryansantos.com. You can see me on Facebook. It's The Art of Ryan Santos, and I'm Ryan Draws 2 on Instagram, or Ryan Santos. You can probably find me that way. Yeah.
And any conventions that we can come see you at this summer?
Yeah, I'm a New England guy, so I'll be at Fan Expo Boston, Terrificon, what else? Rhode Island Comic Con. I'm a New England guy, so I stay close to home.
Very cool. And are you available for cover commissions?
I have a few covers coming out, like Mighty Mascots. That's Keith Gleason's book. I have what else there? Bouncy Ball Man. That's a cover I did. Yeah, it's about this guy who got trapped in a rubber ball suit, and he becomes a superhero because he's stuck in this rubber suit. And I'm doing cover 5 and 6 for Hellion. That's another independent book, small book. And I'm actually starting to do interiors for a new book coming out called The Conductor. I'm still getting pages in one at a time, so that's going to be taking time soon.
Very cool. Again, Ryan, I look forward to working with you again. I cannot thank you enough for your professionalism, your quality of work, and the timeliness of everything. You're just fantastic, and I really appreciate you. And you're very easy to work with, which is always a pleasure.
Thank you. Thanks for giving me a chance.
And I'm sorry you sat there for so long. I appreciate it.
All right. I'm enjoying it.
We are going to go to Kenny Calderon. Kenny, who's doing the tragedy manga right now. Now, Kenny had two covers to 2 prior tragedy issues. The last chapter 4, Kenny's cover sells a lot at shows, and it sold a lot on the campaign. And the funny thing is, that one wasn't meant to be a cover. This was the cover he was supposed to turn in for that campaign. And I love the cover, but he did the other one in thoughts of making it just a mid-campaign piece of art to sell. And I looked at it and I go, oh crap, man! Now you're making me have to make this a cover. What are you doing, Kenny? And that's what Kenny does. He did it on the Dynamics, son of a bitch. But anyway, he turns in something great.
Prepare yourself, because I got another one coming for the manga.
Oh boy!
Listen,
He turns in great stuff.
Me, I gotta get it out.
Yeah, well, you
it
deliver.
can't live inside me rent free. I gotta get it out.
Well, you deliver the goods, man, and here you are with Breath of the Dragon, creating chaos and doing what he does best. He is honestly, with his precognability, he's pretty much unstoppable. With the exception of one or two different metahumans that don't, elicit his power. But what made you come up with the concept on this cover, and why did you want to go with this?
So this was meant for, I think it was like issue 3.
3.
It was for 3, right? And I wanted to do a piece that was focused on Breath of the Dragon, right? Because so many covers before that, had tragedy like as the focal point.
Right.
Right. And, Breath of the Dragon sort of felt like a background character or like an adornment to tragedy. Right. So I wanted to do something to showcase Breath of the Dragon as like the badass that he is. Right. And you had sent me the script to issue 3, I believe it was, and there's a scene where he takes out all these thugs on a pier.
That was actually issue 2, but yeah,
it was 2 then. So I'm like, yeah, this is it. This is what I want to showcase right here. I want to showcase the aftermath of the chaos, right? So, and I wanted to keep it relatively like PG-13. Because
right.
I have been known to kind of get carried away when it comes to
yeah, we can't have graphic violence on covers.
Yeah.
It's not going to go well on shelves.
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to showcase. I wanted to showcase like, the badass that is Breath of the Dragon, and I wanted to insinuate that none of these guys like stood a chance, and it's a very powerful stance. He's centered in the piece, and I think, throwing the guy like underneath him, enforces the power and strength in the character, I figured, I haven't gotten many opportunities to do like a night shot.
Right.
So I wanted to play around with a night setting and then have like fire as like some of the ambient lighting in the scene to just kind of make it more cinematic and more dramatic.
Very cool. And yeah, again, Kenny does everything soup to nuts, colors, etc. So fantastic. And again, I love to just, a focus on him, get away from, I love tragedy to death, but you can't just keep throwing her on covers. You've got to mix it up. So I agree. Fantastic. I guess we got to get to this guy. All right. You with us there, boss? Is he alive? Jason.
Well, it would help if I unmuted my mic or yeah.
Yeah, well, it's because you got a cat in your lap.
This is how I work most days. This freaking thing won't leave me alone.
Look at the loaf. So Jason, as you can see, like I asked him to give me, dynamic sound effects, but not over the top, and that's not easy. So Jason, lettering the book, thank you so much for what you do, man. I do know I put you through the ringer. and I appreciate you. Everything you do. Jason's a true professional. So, what's it like working with me, Jason?
You're wordy and you're not big on punctuation, but aside from that, it's a breeze. I mean, no, it's fine. You're easy, and it's just a matter of artists leaving enough room, which is something that is, it's a working curve and something, new guys got to get used to. Ricardo's gotten a lot better about it since that, from that first issue. But, because I used to draw, I'm drawing a book now, and, you really want to get all your flair in. You want to get your dynamic layouts and get everything into the panel, and you're not thinking in your head all the time about the dialogue. So, I get it.
Right.
It's easy. I mean, not easy, but it's easy relatively compared to working with Phil.
He used to like me. I don't know what the hell happened. So we funded.
We're like 5 books in. That was 3 books ago.
Yeah. We funded, thanks to everybody, the 29
Nice.
backers who launched
Congratulations.
us off to fund in about an hour and change. Thank you so much. And Jason runs Knuckle Supper Studios, and he has his own campaign that's going to launch soon. You want to send me a link to anything, or are you just going to talk about it?
I'll just talk about it for now. I don't have the pre-campaign page up yet. I'm still working on the videos.
So real quick, I'll give the segue and then I'll give the mic to Jason. Jason does this anthology series called Tales from Neurosville that doesn't get enough attention. It's a very cleverly written series, and there's a lot of ironies in it and twists, and I enjoy the series. It's an intelligently written series, which always makes me wonder, is it really Jason writing it? But either way, it is a really, really solid book. And again, each story is its own little micro story that is part of this big world, this universe, this Astro City kind of thing. So having said that, and I really sincerely endorse this book, it needs to get more eyes on it. Take it away, Jason.
Well, I'm an 80s kid. One of the first books I ever bought was Whisper by Capital Comics back in the 80s. So I just fell in love with those indie comics from the 80s. And that's kind of what I wanted to recapture. Today's comic books, let's just say they're not to everybody's liking, the big 3. So I just want to make fun, interesting comic books. People ask me what Tales from Neurosville is about. I tell them it's Astro City if it was published by Eclipse Comics in the 80s. I'm just going for that kind of fun. Some books are all out action. Some books are a murder mystery. It's an anthology series because I can't imagine writing the same characters every book and not getting completely bored. And, when I'm coming up with a story in my head, I see this story and I say, oh, this is a Batman story, or this is a Teen Titans story, or this is a Spider-Man story. So, I can transition then to a different character that I have that's in that vein. So it's just, I like to mix things up. I don't want I want to get predictable or cookie cutter with the story. So I like to change it up. Just, I want to entertain people and let them kind of escape real life for a little bit. Maybe, get a laugh. I'm just a fun guy.
There's dark humor in it too. Like the suicide one stands out to me. It has a twist. It's got dark humor. It was good. That was good.
Yeah, I mean, and there's a backup story in one of the current books that's on the next campaign. I do 3 issues every campaign. There are always a minimum of 70 pages. I think if we reach the stretch goals and I drop all 3 backup stories, this one's going to be about 106 pages between the 3 issues. And There's one in there. I had this story idea in my head, and I went to my buddy who, he reads my scripts and edits them for me. And I'm like, dude, how can I make this particular subject matter fun? And he's like, you can't. You shouldn't do that. I guess that's just a bad idea. But I thought about it, and I went about it in a roundabout way, like going around the perimeter instead of just plowing right through. So I think it works really well.
Was it the story about Phil's cross-dressing years?
No, I think there's enough
Shut up, Kevin.
video
Why are you
proof
telling
of
me
that
my shit,
online.
man?
You know,
I'm sorry.
back when you used to be able to squeeze into a slip.
Listen, I'm above your pay grade. You can't handle me, bud.
I know I can't afford you, that's for sure.
But yeah, it's fun. I just want to make fun, entertaining books, you know, and hopefully work on my craft as a writer. Like growing up, I'd always dreamed of being an artist or an inker, and I'm just not
instead you
fast
became a
enough for
gopher.
that. Yeah.
Get my coffee.
Yeah, once you know, one of the guys earlier was talking about, you know, inking for a half hour to an hour at a time. I've broken nearly every bone in my right hand. So yeah, I get it. I mean, even just holding a stylus, working digitally, it can be a lot to sit and work for that long. So I'll stick to lettering for you.
Yeah, but with as much as you masturbate, you think your wrists are strong, man.
Well,
It's
I
not
go
his wrist, it's
left.
the forearm.
Did you see Kenny's face? That was hilarious. Kenny just like he was doing something. He looked up like, did you just what?
I'm toning tragedy manga pages. you know, I intentionally mute my mic. You know,
Kenny, how
just to not have these,
many
like,
live
outbursts.
streams have you been on with me that you're still caught off guard? Come on.
Listen, and even then, like I gotta ad lib and hit you with a Jesus every so often.
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
hilarious.
a remark, but you know,
We
tonight's
need to
not
get back
about
to
me.
those Friday night live streams, man. I miss those. We used to laugh our asses off.
Yeah, true, very true.
You know, like I told you before, fan, you got to go with your non-dominant hand, so it's like being with an inexperienced girl every now and then.
He even gives her a name in a French accent. Oui, oui, monsieur. Anyway.
You got to do it from the shoulder. It's like laying in a composition on a painting. You got to do it from the shoulder, not the wrist.
Well, now that I've got that visual, thank you. I'm going to stab my eyes. By the way, I want to show this cover. I hope I pronounce his name right. Mike La Peruta. He threw this one at me at a left field pleasantly, and it was charming. It was cute, and it was fun, and I really liked it. It obviously breaks up the tension and the seriousness of the book. So like I have a Steph Wilson cover which does the same. I thought I really liked this. It was cute. It was charming. So I like this cover, and I hope it gets some love. Obviously, she is the best of all of them, and they should all be swooning her. I'm not even going to mention who these heroes are, but you know. Listen, we get to $2,000. We'll get the die cut sticker from the Chance Wolf cover, which is one of the biggest sellers. I've sold thousands of this bad boy. We get the Jesse Chibi, and we have, if you missed the last 4 campaigns, we have the chibis of the other characters, so you can continue getting the set. We've got some indie artists that we have comic size prints of, including Dustin Tyree, who has 2 great artists. He goes by Fatlantis. I really like that, the shamrocks burning and falling. And then we got this Ricardo sketch they just threw at me that when we hit 12,000, which I just had colored recently by a woman in Brazil. I posted, it came out great. These are free. Do you like free stuff, people? Well, let's get to these numbers. We have add-ons. You can do tragedies 1 through 4, and I give you the big name covers: Ian Churchill, Tyler Kirkham, Mike DeBalfo, and Jose Luis with Alex Sinclair colors and John Livesey inks. You want the dynamics? If you like my writing, I'm telling you, reviews have been coming in on dynamics, and people are pleasantly surprised. They didn't know what to think, and they're really liking it. I even got a review emailed to me today, or texted to me today from someone. Check out the dynamics if you like just fun superhero action with some humor, and that you can sit with your kids and read. There's the trailer if you want to see. My prose book, which, by the way, is right there. It's 86 pages. It's a short story book. It's a very uplifting spiritual book. It is not a preachy religious book, but it takes fantasy and sci-fi and theology, and it mixes it all together. It's some of the things that I bet you have all crossed our mind and we've thought about. It's called The Devil's in the Details, and it is where Withered starts. Withered starts as a short story. The first short story in his book continues as a comic book. I'm telling you, check this book out. You're going to enjoy it. I got reviews on this, and people are telling me they really, really enjoy the writing on this. So please check that out. Don't sleep on that. Jonathan Syfax, what's going on, brother? Jonathan was awesome with Kaylee. You can tell a good human being by how they are around children. And he sat there and he listened to Kaylee. She's like me. She can talk a mile a minute and she can go on passionately about anything. And she was telling about the story she's coming up with. And he gave her so much attention. He was into it. He even said he was inspired by her being so young and being so passionate. Jonathan was just a class act, a true gentleman, and he was awesome with my daughters. And when you're good with my kids, you are absolutely good with me. Period. End of story. And you can always tell how cool somebody is by how they act around children and animals. So thank you, Jonathan. So check out The Devil's in the Details. And just so you know, as far as the dynamics, we have a bunch of awesome covers, but here's an example of what Kenny turned in. He didn't even tell me he was doing it. He forces me to buy these covers. He's a son of a gun. Swear to God. Look at this. So look at that. It's kind of like the X-Men, right? But dad bod, hell yeah. And it's my family. It's based on my family, this book. And it's so much fun. It's fun to write. It's a great book. I'm telling you, illustrated by Rob Powers. You should really check this out and support the cover artists. You will not be disappointed. I promise you. And then we've got, sorry guys, I got to go through this campaign. Withered. Man, I've just posted pictures. Will is absolutely giving me the best of his career. This book looks freaking amazing. The detail he's putting in every page in its own self. Each page is its own portrait. It's just insane, right, Kenny? And Kenny's mic's muted, but he's nodding yes. And that's the painted cover by him. Dude, it's insane. You're not going to be disappointed. Those who fell asleep on this book and dynamics, you're really missing out. I'm serious. You're missing out. But you can get it here, and dynamics, and Devil's in the Details. And then you got the art books. I proudly represent these guys. They work hard. They are extremely professional, whether it's cover work, sequential work, or just commissioning fan art. They are awesome. And they've become my family. We aren't just Legendary Illustrations, the company, we're the family. I mean, we really support each other. We promote each other. We get each other's backs. And that's how it should be. And that's who I work with. And that's how I roll. So support these guys. Get these art books. And I can show you those too real quick because I got a couple of those and they're phenomenal. We've got Ricardo, who obviously is on the book, doing beautiful art in here. So, you know, this is 40 plus pages of art. You know, think about it. These days you're spending $15 on a print, upwards of $25. You're getting 40 prints and you'll get the digital, which means you can print up the digital at 11 by 17 size if you want to and hang it up. Look at this detail. Look at the beautiful work. And then you've got Kenny's as well. You know, and Kenny's just turning in some killer work. And Kenny does his color versions as well. Kenny does his own coloring. I mean, look at that. Look at that line work. You know, and again, Kenny's is like 48 pages. Look at this. I mean, you know, he takes obscure characters and makes you love the character just based on his art. And look at that Mr. Freeze. It's amazing. So we've got these art books, guys. Oh, and there you go. The original cover. We've got these art books that are for sale as well in the campaign. You can pick 3, you can get 1, or you can get all 7. So you support the artists. They get 80%, I get 20 because they did the work. I just, you know, I put a little towards the campaign. But support them, please. And they have original art to your commissions, as I said, on this campaign for you to check out. Why are you not? There we go. And there's a trailer to it. And then we got the chibi prints you can buy by Rob Powers. If you missed out on the other 4 campaigns, shame on you. If we unlock the Jesse one, you can get all 5. We've got a sticker pack. Ian Churchill is, oh, that's just killer. And then we've got black and white, the comic size cover prints of the Gus Mock and the Jimbo Salgado. And then we've got these shot glasses, guys and gals, from Moto Glass with Steph Wilson's very first cover and the 5th cover. We are toasting to tragedy. You can make any one a virgin or any cover a foil, or you can make it a foil virgin. But check these out. I put some, something in it so you can see the art. Double shot glasses. Pick them up. These are awesome, and they're solid and they're frosted. They're really nice. Moto Glass does amazing work out of Phoenix. We can toast the success of tragedy. So there you go. There's a lot of goodies on here. If you're an art fan, if you're a fan of reading stories, Chuck Dixon, Howard Mackey, and Peter David said this book is well written. That's all I need. If you don't believe me, believe them. If you don't believe them, read it and prove me wrong. That's all I'm saying. And if it's not your thing, you have toilet paper for a week. But pick up the book, read it. You won't be disappointed. I promise you. Give it a shot. Try the dynamics. Try Withered. I'm telling you, I'm writing stories that others, I'm thinking outside the box. I mean, time is not a construct. It is this malevolent being that imprisoned God and is slowly draining us of our life force by satiating itself. I mean, holy shit, come on, guys. Where do you see that anywhere else? The dynamics, it's like if you took a Pixar movie like The Incredibles and Power Pack and stuff and throw in other stuff, it's a blast. And these stories go in different places. I'm writing original creative stuff. If you're tired of the same old shit that's out there, if you feel that nothing is new and inventive, give Filbo Publishing a shot. What does it hurt you to invest $15 or $6 on a PDF? Give it a shot. And I say the same for Jerry Rasco's M Squad or Bionic Caveman when it comes out by John Coates, or Tales from Nerosville by Vincent Meadows and Knuckle Supper Studios, or The Office Unicorn, which is premiering in the A Kid in a Comic newspaper by Kenny Calderon. And Ricardo works on Sister Mercy with another creator. Check that out. Kevin Stewart, Apollo is coming. And I'm telling you, Apollo looks like a Superman archetype. This story is different. It is original, and it hooked me. I really enjoy it. Kevin's doing a great job on his book. You're going to want to check out Apollo when it launches. We got some great talent here, guys, all in one spot. But you won't know until you find out. Go find out. Back it. Support it. It's a small investment, 10 or 15 bucks. A $6 PDF is all we're asking. You spend more on a cup of coffee at Starbucks where they spell your name wrong. So a $6 PDF is no major loss for you. But you may find the next book that makes you excited to read comics again. You never know. You can pick up Jerry Rasco's book and say, holy crap, this was superhero fun like I've missed for the last 10 years. But you're missing out unless you find out. So go check it out. I'm telling you. And Charles W. Morgan has his Cold Cutter 2 out right now. And he needs some love because he's close to funding. He needs to get there. Let's go. Filbo Publishing. And if you like art, like I said, we've got art commissions. Look at the quality of this art. By the way, this piece is for sale. If anybody wants it, hit me up. I know times are tough right now, and there's a ton across the star. I get it. We're 1 in 5 billion friggin' projects. I do understand that. I understand you work hard for your money, probably at a job you hate, and you are very selective in where your money goes, and you have a right to be. But I'm telling you, You're not going to be disappointed if you put your trust in me, you put your trust in Jerry and all these other guys, and you give us a shot. And you lose nothing. A $6 PDF, a $15 floppy, you lose nothing. We piss away more money on that, on cigarettes, alcohol, marijuana, whatever other vices you have. It's not a big investment, but it is a big difference in that creator's life. So I'm asking you, please come out and support. Make these Kickstarters successful. Blow Jerry's Kickstarter out of the water. Get him to $4,000 or $5,000 out of the gate. Let's go. I want to see some Bionic Caveman, damn it. All right. So having said that, we hit 2 hours. We funded in less than about an hour and a half. Thank you to the first 30 backers. Show us some love. Don't make us sweat. We don't make money off these campaigns, but we do use the money to continue making books. We need you. We need you. We respect you and we appreciate you. We are not beholden to shareholders. We are not beholden to an agenda. No one here is writing from a soapbox. All right? There's no pulpits going on here. We're just creating fun stories that make you want to read comics again, that make you excited for a comic book to come out again. How many of you missed that? Remember when Wednesdays were like Christmas every week, man? It was like your birthday every week. You're going to get the new books. I missed that excitement. I mean, as you get older, life gets stale, right? It's the same shit every day. Go to work, come home, take care of the family, blah, blah, blah. It's a routine. We need things to look forward to, right? So what better than a new idea, a new book that sparks something in you, you know? Jerry, this has been his dream for decades. He's worked on this. He was selling art, busting his ass while raising a family, doing his day job so he could put this book out. There is no better person to support than that person who has that kind of passion and that kind of love for this medium. We are what keep it going, not corporate interests. I get that you love Batman, but he ain't Batman anymore. But you know what?
Yeah.
M Squad is new, and that may be your new team.
Remember when you were a kid, anybody who collected comics and you went into, not the store, you went into the drugstore or the grocery store and you went to the spinner rack and you spun and there was something you'd never seen before and you went, I don't know, what's the history? But you got in on the ground level and all of a sudden that's where you became a fan. That's what all of us are giving these, our backers, our fans.
We're trying to create that magic again.
Exactly. That idea of this is new. You can get in at the beginning. You don't have 80 years of crazy stuff you got to follow up on to understand what's happening. We're not talking about, like you said, corporate policy, corporate agendas. These are just passion projects, truly passion projects. And that's what makes them so fun is feeling that passion and selling that passion. Nobody does it like you. You should. If you're not selling ice to Eskimos, you missed your calling.
Pete Vasquez said it best when I was doing my conventions. He said that this isn't a money grab, it's a passion play.
Yep.
That's
I can tell you guys, my project is, like I mentioned, it's completely done. So by funding, all I'm doing with Kickstarter is taking pre-orders essentially. And that money is going to go to printing comics to get them into your hands. All the work I paid out of my pocket, that's because I want that dream to come true and I want you to have this story.
Well, sorry, I was getting a message from Kevin. So I agree. And by the way, Tragedy 5 is all done and ready to go to print too. All my books except for Withered are done beforehand. And that's why I fulfill quickly. And I promise you, if you're waiting on Withered and you're worried about backing Tragedy, my track record speaks for me. 9 successful campaigns, every one of them fulfilled not only within the time frame but early. And you will get Withered if you backed Withered. I promise you that. You have my word. And it's not like you don't know where to find me. I'm always on frickin' some live stream. So please don't hesitate. I promise you, you will get everything that you pledged and backed on. And again, when you support our books, you're supporting our ability to hire people like John and Ricardo and Kenny and Jason to do these books. I needed money to pay for covers, right? Well, you're supporting, it's a domino effect. The indie community will never rival mainstream publishing if we don't invest money into this community. It needs money flow. That means we need you. And if you're not a reader and you're just a collector, well, we've got great covers to collect, great art. You know, granted, it's not a booby book, but we got a Steph Wilson cover. It's as close as it gets, 2 big circles, right? Anyway, but you know what? You may just love what you got. Give it a try. You may find a spark from any one of these books. If not, maybe you just at least get some great art. I mean, Ricardo, the art on the book is just gorgeous, you know? And, you know, Ricardo's got 12 illegitimate kids to feed. You got to help him out. You know, I mean, he was on Maury Povich just recently, and the DNA taste came in. It was his. But Ricardo's like, if I figure out what the hell you're saying, I'm going to kill you. I love Ricardo. He's awesome. We're going to wrap this up. But first of all, I want to say thank you to everyone who hung out with me, who became a part of this. John Kotsis, your kindness, your support, all the sharing, the amazing cover. I cannot thank you enough. Jerry, same thing, man. The sending me that cover and your support and your kindness. Jason, fuck yourself. Kenny, thank you so much. Jason knows I love him, man. Jason and I, when I was dying of COVID in bed and I was bored out of my mind as I was starting to recover, is when I started to really get to know Jason. He had sent me one of his books and asked me to read it and edit it and tell me what I thought. And I was instantly hooked. And we instantly clicked because we both come from that age where you bust the balls of the person you like. If I don't like you, I'm not busting your balls. I'm not dealing with you at all. So Jason is, I'm telling you, I am blessed with a fantastic creative team on all the books I do, and to be able to rep the artists and, you know, letterer and Jason's situation that I get to do. I really mean that. They're professionals. They're great people, and we look out for each other. We're a family. And I love them for it. I appreciate and respect you for it. And thank you for making my life easier and my books look good. I'm going to be the face of it. I'm going to get all the credit. But the truth is, you're the lineman. You make me look good because you're protecting me and you're taking care of business. So much respect and appreciation to all of you. And to the 30 backers that came out right away, thank you so much. Now, we usually have a big influx in the beginning and it slows down like every other campaign. And Tragedy's been out of the spotlight for 7 months, so I didn't know what to expect. So I put a low goal to start. But we've got a ways to go, guys. Tragedy, we were at $12,000 with Tragedy issue 3. We really need to get back there for me to continue. If you want to see these Bill Sienkiewicz covers and these Chris Bachalo covers and these great covers, I need you. Plain and simple. So please come out and support. You're not going to be disappointed. And on this campaign, you get the first 5 issues. You get a full, complete story arc. You get enough time to delve into the characters and figure out what it's all about. Because I'm telling you, this isn't just a vigilante tale. This is her own inner struggles, but we get into some badass, major, episodic saga shit. I mean, there are major wars that go on in this story. You know, in China, there are immortals. I go back to the first emperor of China. I did research on this too. There are undead demigods that they face. There are metahumans. There are monsters. If you saw the artwork that Ricardo did, that poster that'll be in a trade paperback of things to come for Tragedy, you saw a huge were-tiger. You saw a speedster. You saw so many different characters. You saw this big four-armed thing with intricate design that Ricardo's going to curse me till the day I die. But I cannot tell you how awesome these stories are going to be. We're just getting started with 5 issues. I've written 26 scripts. I have stories through 75 issues. I have stuff that is new. It's fresh. I promise you. I'm not just saying that to market my book and you're going to look at it and go, he was full of shit, he lied to me. I stand by it and my reputation. I delve into different things. I take a trope that, tropes that are similar, but I do different things with it. And I go to different areas and I write characters that you can relate to. When you read Tragedy, you feel her fall because we can all relate to life kicking us in the frickin' teeth every day. And when she triumphs, it's like the old Rocky movie. Remember sitting in a theater with Rocky and when he was fighting back and the music and everybody's cheering and there was like this rooting for that underdog. That's the character that she is. You are going to feel it when she falls and you are going to cheer when she triumphs, and you've just got to come for the ride. I'm telling you, you won't be disappointed. Hey, George, Wonder Duck, great book. Check out George Medina, Wonder Duck. It's not what you think. It's not some silly kids book. It is a really solid, fun superhero story. Go check out George Medina, by the way. Awesome dude. Sean DM, what's going on? So come on, guys, come on out and let's do this. To be honest with you, I'm grateful we funded, but this is the slowest start of any Tragedy campaign I've ever done. Let's do this. Let's do it. Normally I'd be by $4,000 by now. I need you. Come on out and do this. Please. You're not going to be disappointed. All right. Since you guys were so kind to stick around, we're going to do a round robin starting with Jerry. Plug yourself, take a few minutes, tell us everything we need to know on what's going on.
M Squad on Kickstarter. We've got just under 30 days left. The campaign. The book is ready to go to print, so we're funded. You're going to get your comics. Now the question is, how much free stuff do you want on top of your comics? So we're heading toward getting stretch goals with different prints, and if we get a big enough stretch goal, we're going to do a trading card series with all the characters there from the main team, M Squad. It's a classic superhero action adventure story for the whole family. It's something that I have been dealing and working with since I was a kid, and this is my dream of bringing you this story. And this is not a one and done. I've got 5 issues ready to roll. I'm working on pages of issue 2. It's all written and drawn by me. So there is a full story arc that's going to tell you what's going on and who are the big bads behind what happens in issue 1. You got the variant cover there by Adelso Corona, who is the inker for Gunslinger Spawn right now from Image. He did an incredible piece there. That's available. We have sketch covers available. The sketch cover with a sketch by yours truly. And we also have a limited tier with metal covers of both my cover and Adelso's. That is a limited tier. There's only a few of those left. So if that's a kind of thing you're into collecting, check those out before they're all gone. And again, like Phil's saying, it's a passion project. This is my dream. It truly is my childhood dream coming to life. So I thank everybody who's participated with me. And like you said, the money that we're raising is so I can keep doing it. Nobody's getting rich off of a book like this. The goal here is this is going to get me to colors for issue 2 and letters for issue 2, and then that campaign is going to get me to 3 so I can tell this full story for you. So again, thank you all. Phil, thank you for the time and sharing what's your night with me to help me with this. I can't thank you enough for everything you've done.
Dude, we're a community. You build you know, we could build a vast city if we stopped just saying, I'm going to work on my house, to hell with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, I hear you.
We can build together, and we'll all be better for it. So M Squad issue number 1 is funded. You will get your book. It's already done. So it's just a matter of finding out how many people need to get books, and he'll send it to printer, and boom, it's yours very quickly. So there's no reason not to back. And just keep in mind, with 29 days to go, you don't have to worry. They do not collect the money until the end of the campaign. So if you're like, I don't have it right now, but you know you'll have it in 29 days, you can back now, and you can even adjust your backing if you want to just do a little right now. And if you get more money and you're like, hey, I wanted that other cover, you can, boom, you can up your pledge. We always welcome that. So let's go.
Yeah, and I do have a PDF tier, a $5 PDF tier. So if you want to check out the book, but I get it. Times are tough for folks, but you can spare $5. You'd be amazed how much $5 goes towards
By the
somebody who's
way,
trying to do it all ourselves.
By the way, if maybe the project's not your thing, but you really like Jerry and you wanna support, you can pledge without a reward right here, and that could be any denomination. It could be $1, it could be $10, it could be $100, it could be $1 billion.
It's all greatly appreciated.
Very cool.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Kotsis, tell us, my friend.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me on. Number one, I know the campaign's going to work. Big shout out to Kenny, to Ricardo, fantastic artists, amazing, fantastic artists. Great job, guys, fantastic. Ricardo, both Kenny and Ricardo have a great future in this business, guaranteed. As far as me, buying the caveman, after working on that, Samurai Ninja Rabbit's going to work on that. Jerry, I like what I'm seeing with M Squad. It looks really, really cool, dude. And if you need anything, you need a cover or anything, hit me up.
Appreciate it. Absolutely.
Find me at Psycho Comics Art. Phil has my contacts as well, and on Facebook as well. I want to wish Phil the best of luck on the campaign. I know he'll pull through. He always does. So thank you for having me on, and hopefully everything works out.
Thank you. And again, here's another show of his cover, guys. This is the quality you get if you hire John.
Thank you, Phil.
Great classic piece.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, man. Awesome. And just to remind you, this is the Jerry Rasco cover. And we're going to go to Kenny because Ricardo left. He must have lost the signal. There's Kenny's cover. Okay, Kenny. Thank you, Kenny.
I can be found on Instagram under wild_inks, INX _Ken, or wild_inks studios with a Z. For any commissions, reach out to Phil. Currently, what's on the production block is the tragedy manga. I'm about halfway through that, and cover art, sequentials. Phil is the man to talk to. Shout out to all the artists that provided variant covers for this campaign. All the legendary guys that contributed to the project as well. We bust ass when it comes to what we do and what we love. And the proof is in the pudding. We produce at a high level of quality, regardless of whatever the contribution is. So everyone that was on the panel tonight, is definitely deserving of your dollar. So look into that. So yeah, with me, it's the tragedy manga. That's what's coming up. Look for that with the tragedy trade paperback. I also have original art tiers available on every one of Phil's campaigns. So for commissions, that's probably the best way to do it, because I got kind of a full plate, And anyone who's backed one of the campaigns via the original art tier can tell you what and how I deliver. So we got samples up on the campaign, and as always, if you need to see samples of anything else that myself or any one of the other legendary guys can do, you can always head over to philboentertainment.com.
Very cool. Thank you. And seriously, one of the reasons why I started working with Kenny, besides the fact that he just kept groveling and begging, was that Kenny is an extreme pro. I mean, I'm telling you, he's a pro's pro. The guy is, when you hire him, you get professional level work, professional level quality, professional level time, professional level communication, and no ego. So hire him, but let him finish my manga pages first. All right, thanks, Kenny, for being a part of this and hanging out. I know you had class tonight. I was surprised you got in so early. I appreciate it. You are the last man standing. Speaking of last man standing, he stuck around for a while. Thank you, Jason. I bust Jason's balls, but like I said, nothing but love and respect for that man. Talk to us, brother. Talk to us.
So the third campaign for Tales from Nearsville is dropping soon. 3 new issues. With the stretch goals, it's 106 pages. The books are done. I just got the final art pages for the last backup story. The only thing for the book that has to be done yet is a perk that I offer. It's called Be the Brawler. Our logo is an old school bare knuckle brawler, and since there's only 3 issues, there's 3 available where you can have yourself drawn as a bare knuckle brawler on the back cover of the book. So that's the only thing that has to be done. I can't do that obviously until the campaign's over. So it's those 3 new issues, and I have the catch up. So I just looked. It's 9 issues of Tales from Nearsville, 274 pages for $32. So I feel like I give backers a lot of bang for their buck, and try and give them a lot of content. Yeah, so that's why I do it. Do it for the love of comics and for cat food. So that'll be dropping soon, and the link.
By the way,
in the chat, I did drop the link for our page on Facebook, which is the best place to catch updates and stuff like that.
Good. By the way, Happy Jack is actually one of my favorite character designs in the indie community.
Dude, I came up with that. I told you I pissed off a supplier in New York when I worked in the plumbing industry. And the dude was snapping at me, and I called him Happy Jack, and the name just stuck with me. I went home that night and drew the character out. Like, just bam, drew him out completely. And he really stuck with me. I think that was probably around 95. I just drew that guy, and he was one of the first. His story was one of the first 3-issue arcs that I wrote, and that's the only reason I'm drawing it now, is because it was the very first Tales from Nearsville story that I ever wrote. So when I decided to crowdfund, do the campaigns, I decided I was going to touch the story up, update it a little, and I was going to go ahead and take care of the writing, pencils, inks. I was going to do colors, but I suck and I'm slow, so I have somebody else doing the colors now. But yeah, this is my baby, and I cannot wait till the 3-issue arc's over, and I'm never drawing anything again.
You're a freaking pisser. But I'm telling you, great stuff, and I look forward to the launch of the new one. I have all your books so far. And they aren't, and they're not even lining my cat box. I'm telling you, they're good.
And they could, because I've got a lot of them here, because, So that's what I work on when I'm not trying to jam 3 pages of dialogue into 3 panels of Phil's book. I'm working on my own books.
Dick. You jerk ass.
You love me.
Yeah, dude, this is the quality you get out of Tragedy. 30 pages of story. It's a thick book. Like it thick, like Rod. I'm going to go over the campaign one last time with everybody and a quick review. You guys you're not obligated to stay. If you want to, of course, feel free. But I'm going to go over one more time. And I meant to show these, the actual books, the art. This is Kenny Calderon's art. Breath of the Dragon versus Taskmaster. Look at that. For book 3. It's a one-of-a-kind original art. And then we've got versus Zealot from Jim Lee's Wildcats, book 2. And then we've got Envu on book 1. And then we've got Michael Gerlich doing Unmasked Breath of the Dragon on book 3. And then we've got book 2, Breath of the Dragon versus Deathstroke the Terminator by Kenny, Carlson. Oh my God, what the hell happened? Jesus. Kenny, what's going on with my brain here? He's a friend of mine. I can't. Sean Carlson. Jesus, I'm so sorry. Wow, I'm tired. And then Sean Carlson again on issue 1, Elektra versus Tragedy. So these are available. They're right here, ready to ship. Ready to ship. And I'm telling you, these 5 stories, these 5 books, it's over 100. It's like 150 pages of story. Each book is like 30 pages, guys. I'm not playing around when I write these books. So you buy all 5 issues, you're getting 150 pages of story. Hello, McFly. But look at Kenny sticking around while everybody dropped out. I love you, man. And we've got swag. How are we doing this? There you go. Sorry, it's inverted. We got shot glasses. And somebody bought the prose book. Awesome so far. So go check it out. It's getting great reviews. Gary loves this. Gary Girout, Kenny, he said this is my best writing. He loved this, which I appreciated greatly. So I'm going to play the trailer one last time. And then we're going to go. Yeah, we lost it. I don't know what happened there. Let's try this again. Trackers 1170. Thank you so much for funding us in about I think it was an hour we funded. I think it was about an hour. But I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much please don't sleep on this, and definitely check out the other books as well. I'm telling you that no words I can tell you are going to give you the faith and convince you. But I wish that you would all just put your faith in me and give it a shot. And I hope that you do. And that's about it. It's all we can hope for. All right. So, again, thank you to all of you who came out and hung out. For those that are still here with me, I appreciate you. To those that support and back me and share and like and comment, to all of you that have helped my dream come true, I am very grateful to all of you, and I thank you. And I hope that I continue to earn your trust and your respect. And I hope that I continue to provide quality content that you can appreciate and enjoy. And just remember, that's a beautiful sketch cover. Got a glow in the dark, guys. Glow in the dark cover. Limited to 25. That's it. And this awesome lava foil, which is limited to 30. And the sketch cover is limited to 30. That's it. After that, no more. I will never print them again. Dead serious about that. All right. So I'm going to do what I always do, and I'm going to leave you with what I always leave you with. I don't know, Kenny, you want to help me with this one? I'll let you start.
Okay. Be legendary.
And have fun storming the castle.
Shazam.